Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming, and the title sort of tells you what you need to know. If Logan was a grim character study posing as a superhero movie, then Spider-Man Homecoming is basically Ferris Bueller's Day Off with added webbing. And in fact, one of the very few sort of false moments in it is that there's a lot of it which look like Ferris Bueller, and then there's a sequence when our young hero, Tom Holland, is running through these gardens, and I thought, that's really lovely because that's a Ferris Bueller gag. And then he stops and he's running by a television that's showing Ferris Bueller, and he goes, "Great movie." And he was like, okay, that was
much.
It was like we were kind of there already. So the story is, gawky teenager and who's desperate to impress girls just as much as he is desperate to become a proper Avenger. But after the sort of brief intro that we had to him before, he's basically been sent back to school by Robert Downey, by Tony Stark. He's been told that he describes it as being on an Avengers program, that he's like he's going to be an intern. But essentially he really wants to be out there fighting crime with you. And they say, no. Tony Stark actually says, can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? However, stuff is going on in the friendly neighborhood. He stumbles a kind of out of this world arms deal fronted by Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton, as a very different kind of Birdman. So basically, he's an awkward schoolboy who's got all those awkward adolescent problems. He really, really wants to sort of play with the big boys, but he's also dealing with the fact that his best friend comes round to his house when he least expects it in order to build a Lego Star Wars Death Star.
Cool.
And therefore accidentally stumbles upon his friend's identity.
You're the Spider-Man.
I'm not.
You were on the ceiling.
I wasn't. Ned, what are you doing in my room?
May let me in. You said we're going to finish a Death Star. She doesn't know.
Nobody knows. Well, I mean, Mr. Stark knows because he made my suit, but that's it.
Tony Stark made you that. Are you an Avenger?
Yeah, basically. Dude, you can't tell anybody about this. You gotta keep it a secret.
I'll level with you. I don't think I can keep this a secret. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I'm gonna tell you about this at school tomorrow, okay?
Great. Can you spit venom?
You have any idea?
No.
Can you summon an army of spiders?
No, Ned.
You can tell from that the sort of, the tone of the film. And I really enjoyed it. And I was slightly surprised because even in my in the time that I've been doing film criticism with you on the radio, this is now the third reboot of Spider-Man, because we had the Sam Raimis, and then we had Garfield, and then now we've got this, and there was a palpable sense going into the screening of, do we really need to go again? What this does is that it absolutely plays it, very much in the tone of somebody who made Cop Car. It is a film which is about adolescence and childhood and that kind of indie spirit, despite the fact that it is part of a much larger universe in which evidently we're going to have crashy, smashy, fly, swingy, huge judgment. But all the way through, you get the feeling that the filmmakers are much more interested in the adolescent angst. There's a lovely thing about having a suit which has been given to him, which has powers that he doesn't really understand because he's not yet able to fully master them. But like anybody else who was 15 years old, he has ambitions which clearly outstrip his abilities. And when he discovers that it may be possible to supercharge his suit without doing the lessons necessary, well, of course, that's what he's going to want to do. There is a key line in it in which he is told, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. And that's the kind of coming-of-age lesson of the film. But it's funny, it's, oddly charming. It has genuine sort of sweet domesticity to it amidst all the, the action stuff. And it does take the character in a way which you feel, okay, that's great. I can understand why we need this again, because this is a different take. This is actually a sort of, a younger and more honest take on what that character is about. It is about, it's about somebody wrestling with being a teenager whilst having been bitten by a radioactive spider. So it's to do with, the fact that you can do all these other things, but you are still basically a teenager at heart. And there's lots of sort of really funny jokes in it. There's this recurrent school infomercials by Captain America, which are very, very dry. Do stay to the end credits. I don't say that very often, but actually this time you probably should. And I was really pleasantly surprised by it.